Welcome back, Nitwits. It's Damo99, finally back from a little break here. And with me, as always, Game Over Joey
Hey everyone.
and Floridian Buckeye.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
So, guys, we're jumping right into the topic. Do campaigns matter? And do they warrant a $60 price tag if a game doesn't have a campaign? Floridian Buckeye, we'll go to you for the first start here.
Hey, thank you. In my perspective, I would like to say that a storyline, a campaign, for me, since I'm a beginner, since I'm pretty, wet behind the ears, I say that it does matter. It matters to me because it pretty much introduces a further aspect into the game. The development, the improvement, the growth of the characters. So it's pretty much it ties me to the game. So for me, it is important. It is important for the video game that I'm going to spend $60 of my hard-earned money for it to have a campaign.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, right? $60 is a lot of money, and to some people, when you think about $60, it can take you 4 or 5 hours of your work week out of 40-hour work week to be able to afford the price of a game, right? So we're talking about that is a significant amount of money for a game, okay? But to counter that though, one thing to think about though is the hours of entertainment that you're going to get out of this specific game, right? So when I think about a game without a campaign, do I like a $60 price tag on a game that is solely online with no campaign? Depends. So I think about the current generation right now where game prices have jumped from $60 to $70 on PlayStation 5. And a game without a campaign for $70 kind of seems excessive to me. But again, one of the things I think about are how many hours am I going to play in this game. So I'm going to use Battlefield 2042, for example. Has no campaign. And it is an exclusively online multiplayer game. A game that I know I'm going to get hundreds of hours of fun out of, right? That to me can justify that price tag. I'm not saying I like it, but if I put in a minimum of 20 hours of entertainment in a game, so that's what, $2 an hour, I feel like that justifies the price to some extent.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things to think about right now is the fact that Game Pass, it doesn't matter if a game's $60.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation doesn't have a counter to that yet. I know we keep bringing up Game Pass and how much we think Game Pass is a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Look at some of the biggest games out there right now. Warzone is the perfect example of this. I know more people play Warzone than play actual Call of Duty. I know we've had that conversation before in person. I think it's an interesting thing about it because you have so many free games now that just bank on getting cosmetics for you to buy.
Yeah.
That a $60, like, it's not even worth it. I would rather you charge me separate, however much you want to charge me for the campaign, than anything else anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because years ago, campaign was the only thing that mattered in a game.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if a game's not single player driven, then what's the point of a campaign?
No, you're 100% correct. And you know what's crazy? That statement you just said is exactly what they're doing with Halo Infinite. Their multiplayer is 100% free to play. That means your Slayer that we all love and grew up playing is 100% free to play as long as you're playing online. Obviously, they're going to incorporate some battle pass system. Let's be realistic. They're also going to have a battle royale mode. Supposedly, it's rumored, not confirmed. But the point being is, the campaign. If you want to play that campaign, they're charging you $60. So I actually I like that. I agree with you there. I know growing up, campaigns were everything because that you for example, and I'm pretty sure you both remember this, but when you wanted to play online, when you had to connect to online parties like LAN parties and so forth, you really couldn't do it back in the day. And then when it became capable, you had to go to your computer, have your console hooked up, hit connect, find a lobby that way. So games have changed so much on how we just power a console on, we hop into a party, we start, gaming, right? So it's a huge jump. It's a different element from what we grew up doing. But I think no campaign is becoming a norm for a lot of video games now. I'm not saying I like it, because I agree with Dago to some extent too, because I do think a campaign can have you can get attached to some of those characters that you could be playing online with. For example, I think of like Destiny. Okay, Destiny doesn't have the greatest campaign, but it does have a really good element where you eventually start to understand, the warlocks, the titans, where they come from, the fractions. So there's a lot of things that really do help you become more involved with I said customer. Holy shit, I'm thinking about work. But really, really get involved with that universe and those characters that you're playing, or even that fraction. So, I think both sides have a valid and really good argument. I would love to see campaigns in a game. I can tell you I really enjoy the Call of Duty campaigns. I think they've all been really good, especially Modern Warfare 2's. And then you look at Black Ops 2 and 1, phenomenal campaigns. This most recent one was absolutely insane. And all I'll say, the baby in the crate, if you get that, then you've done it and you're sick. That's all I'm going to say. But like I said, there's a good argument on both sides. I think that campaigns are awesome, and it's something additional that you can do, especially when you can play co-op with your friends. Mm-hmm. But hey, man, MMOs don't always have the best campaigns. It's just that forever, ever grind, right? And they do well.
I will say for the campaign side, and you're gonna make fun of me because I can't think of the guy's name in Destiny 2. The DLC when he died, then everyone flipped out.
Oh, Kane.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, Clyde. I said Kane. Clyde.
One of my good friends still talks about how that was one of the biggest moments in video games, and how that bothered him so much. So campaign, like you said, it does bring a personal aspect to it. Like you love someone. Like Gears of War 3 will arguably be one of my favorite campaigns because of Dom. You feel so connected to these characters, but anymore, there's nothing like that. So to me, it's not worth the price to pay for a campaign.
Yeah, and I agree with you there too. That's actually a really good argument. And I think just to counter that, when you think about these games at $60 and without campaigns, let's play devil's advocate here. So what about a game that costs $60 with no online multiplayer, a 10-hour campaign like Resident Evil Village, and they're charging you $60 or $70 on the PS5? Is that warranted? And let's hear from Dago.
Ooh, man, that is a good question. $70. I might be a little on the frugal side. I might just be that person that questions the $60, and sometimes I'm at the store making life decisions. Should I spend this money on this video game? But what can I say? I feel like the campaign for me, man, it's it does build that involvement with those characters. I do know that, for example, it's $70.
So hold on, let me interrupt you for a second.
Yes.
So again, what about if it? Okay, let's just say Call of Duty. Okay, because I know you played Call of Duty Modern Warfare's campaign.
Right.
Let's say there's no online multiplayer, no Warzone. They had a 10-hour campaign, and that's all that value brought to you. That's all that game had, and it was $60, right? So you could not get on Warzone. Warzone wasn't a thing. Multiplayer, so your normal team deathmatch wasn't a thing. Capture the flag wasn't there, okay?
Right.
So you're going on the PlayStation Store, you're paying $60 for a 10-hour campaign. Do you think that warrants a $60 price tag for 10 hours of fun?
Honestly, I would have to say a hard no on that. I would pass on that video game.
Why?
I feel like me as a player, I would like to play the campaign. as soon as I finish the campaign, I jump into like the multiplayer. I jump into like the war zone. I jump into for example, like the online games. So if it's just the campaign itself that has nothing else, I would definitely just pass. I would not be that person that buys that video game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. No, I agree with that. It just, to me, that does seem a little crazy. But I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil Village, which is literally just a 10-hour campaign, and I've beat it a couple times now. And I absolutely adore that game. Dom, what are your thoughts?
One thing to think about though is Resident Evil historically has shorter not the longest campaigns, but I also don't think most people could handle crapping themselves for like a 40-hour campaign of Resident Evil. So like, I think when you get Resident Evil, you know what you're getting. And it's not a game that hides behind it. It's not going to sit there and say like it's the longest campaign. Like Resident Evil is cut and dry. This is what it is. Do I think that's worth $60? If it has Leon Kennedy, it's worth $60. I guarantee you that. But if it doesn't, it's questionable.
Hey man, Jill Valentine all day.
Another like interesting thing too is like think about like looking back at it. Like one of my favorite things just to tell people is the cake is a lie for fun. But like in my mind, I paid like legit money for Portal, and that was one of the shortest games possible. And like I played it so much, and I enjoyed the game, and it was creative and it was different. But like that game was not worth the money. Like nowadays, if someone came out with Portal, that's a free game at best. Like maybe you charge $10. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's interesting because like the way the games have developed, especially short campaigns. I feel anymore this game is either going to be 100% dedicated single player online, or I mean, there's not really a campaign.
Okay. No, I think that, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Portal, I also paid for that game, and it was amazing, right? I mean, I think it's definitely one of Steam's best-selling games, and Valve, but Steam.
Yeah, I miss old Valve so much.
So do I. Left 4 Dead 3 needed to happen, but Back 4 Blood's coming, so we're all good. I mean, yeah, I do too, man. They have definitely fallen off their clout.
I put them with like Rockstar has always been, but then like old Valve would have been right up there with them.
Oh man, I agree. I actually would say this, for me at least. I would say it would trump Rockstar if they were still the same company they were years ago. And I only say that
Team Fortress 2.
I was gonna say Team Fortress 2. I mean, man, Half-Life obviously. Then you had Left 4 Dead. When the first Left 4 Dead dropped in 2009, it was hands down one of my favorite games of all time, and I mean that, like truly one of my favorite games of all time. When 2 came out 2 years later, which was really shocked. Well, it was actually under 2 years. It was like a year and a half, which was insane to do that. Was even better in my eyes. And I still play it today. I think it is a phenomenal game. A game that has a ton of players still, has the credibility, and deserves a third game. And again, I know Back 4 Blood is coming by the same developers, but I truly, truly wish Valve would pick up Left 4 Dead 3 with some of the or bring back the characters we love, like Coach.
Yeah, it's just Coach.
Yeah, just Coach. Yeah, everyone else we don't really care about. Just bring new ones back.
We can replace them, but we need Coach.
Yeah, we need Coach. But yeah, I agree that it's hard, man, because like I keep thinking about this question, and my mind keeps going over and over again, thinking of other games I've played, and that were actually very short games. And one of the things that came to mind was BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is the nostalgia worth the 60? Like that's the other way to word it too, because these companies, Doom has not been worth $60 since Doom has done 1,000 reboots and everything, but they still get you to want to buy it, to want to play it, because it's the nostalgia factor. I mean, that's a lot of things that like these old companies, these old games, they like, oh, well, we're adding this feature, or Fortnite will be like, this person's coming from this game, and you're like, oh man, I got to get it because that guy. I think that's another thing to think of is how much does nostalgia cost to that $60?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that you're gonna have, people who have been playing the Doom series since the '90s, including myself, because I'm a huge fan of Doom. I've been playing it for, you got to think that's over 20 years I've been playing Doom in a sense, right? Not every year, but when they drop a new game, I always play it.
You can't quit on them now.
But they are phenomenal games, but they're very short. Because there's speed runs of Doom being beat in like 25 minutes. So if you're that good, obviously, no one's really out there that's that good. But the point being is that's $60. Woo! Dishonored's the same way, man. That's like Deathloop that's coming out. Deathloop is not going to me. It's going to be a very short game. It's by the same studios that literally made Dishonored. It's probably going to be a 10-hour game at best, but they're charging full price for it. Does that make sense? I'm sure it's going to be a phenomenal game. Don't get me wrong. Like, these games are fantastic, but it's insane to me. Going back to the whole free-to-play concept that we've talked about in past videos, and then even here, that concept makes so much sense because, like, for example, you have, Fortnite Warzone, but forget the Battle Royales. Let's talk about Destiny 2.
Yeah. A massive game like that going free.
Yeah. And you're getting a campaign. Yeah, it's always online and not the greatest campaign, but it's such a fun grind. It's such a good game. And you're getting it for free. And you're getting hundreds of hours out of this game. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So if you're charging $60 or $70 in PlayStation's case, that is so hard to justify nowadays. But the other counter is, because there's always a counter, right?
Yeah.
Destiny 1 cost literally $500 million, $500 million, okay, to develop and market. So when you think about $500 million, okay, something we'll never see in our lifetime, $500 million. Think about that. Now, do you think that a developer has a right to charge that $60 or $70 in PlayStation's case? And yes, I'm doing that on purpose because bullshit. To charge that price for a game. Doggo. You getting back into gaming, and you think about, okay, this game has a 10-hour campaign, and that's all it has. No multiplayer again. But they're charging this much. But the game cost them $150 million to develop. Do you think that is a probable cause to charge that full price?
Now, this is only on games that have just campaign, right? Like a 10-hour campaign, like nothing else, right? Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would that $60 still be reasonable when it costs so much for it to develop? Honestly, if I put myself in the developer's shoes, if I put myself in his or her shoes, I would say, hey, you know what? $60 is affordable. For the people who can buy it, go ahead and buy it. And if you can't, then I guess you just can't. I guess it would be like that prestigious, hey, you know what? Game versus somebody who can't. But me as a gamer, as a fairly new gamer, I'm not looking into that. I'm not looking into, oh, how much did so and so person spend to develop this game. I'm looking more into the fact, am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to regret it down the road? Spending this much money on a game that's only 10, 12 hours of playing time, and then that's it. So I would still stick to the no, in my viewpoint.
Okay, no, that's fair. I mean, that you brought up a really good valid point. It matter of the average gamer. Am I going to look into that? Nor do I care. No, I don't. Right. I'm not going to sit here and be like, how much did Destiny 1 cost to develop? Oh my God, $500 million. Like, you don't give a shit, right? You're just like, right. Okay, it is what it is. I don't care. It's not worth $60 for 10 hours. Okay, fair.
Can I spin this real quick?
Absolutely. Okay,
so one of the biggest things right now is Black Widow came out, and
Yeah.
Kevin Feige is that the big Marvel exec?
I'm sorry?
Kevin Feige, is he the big Marvel guy?
Yep.
He was very outspoken and adamant that none of his movies should go straight to Disney Plus. None of his movies should go. You have to pay $30 for Disney premiere. All his movies deserve for the MCU to go straight to theater. Now, it's funny though because Luca came out and just sent straight to Disney Plus, and there were a lot of people at Pixar that felt disrespected because their movie got sent straight just to Disney Plus, and other movies, do both. Like, the premiere or the theater. So there are like other things to think too. Like in other industries, should something just go streamlined, just straight to free, which would essentially be like your Disney Plus, your subscription. Like movies are doing that now. I mean, HBO Max should get free movies. Hulu has movies. Prime has a billion things. Like there are so many different industries that are utilizing something similar to this. Whereas like, I guess when you're sitting there thinking like, is the price tag worth it? And it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like it's just, to me, it's like, if I can get it for free, that's awesome. But those developers and those people that worked hard on it, like, man, like they probably have to feel disrespected. So you're going to tick off a lot of good companies by doing that.
See, that's where I disagree. Because you got to think about it. And I'm going to bring Game Pass as an example. So all these games that get added to Game Pass, you are aware Microsoft or Xbox cuts a huge check to that developer to bring it to their platform, right? So they're basically paying for your production costs, your just overall. So that's employees, that's the benefits, that's the cost of the game, and more to get that on their platform, okay? So the same thing with, like, for example, Black Widow. Phenomenal movie, by the way. I've watched it twice since this came out. Love it. But what I will say is that, and it's not just because of Scarlett Johansson. I mean, a lot of it is, but it's not solely. I will say that it's one of those things where Disney, owns the rights to Marvel, so let's talk about that. And two, Kevin's not hurting. He's getting paid well. Kevin can just shut up. I don't care what he's an idiot. Because Disney bought them for a substantial amount of money. And Disney can choose what they want to do with their... They need to get more subscribers to Disney Plus. What does that do overall? Benefit the company. It benefits me, you, as stakeholders. Okay?
Yep.
So why not? That's a phenomenal idea. Netflix does, as you stated. Hulu. Amazon Prime. And by the way, The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, phenomenal movie. And I will say that I think is 100% warranted because he's not hurting. That executive is still making bank. It's not affecting how much he makes. Sure, he can argue, well, guess what? We're never going to beat Avatar now. Like, sure, okay. Like, he can talk about that all day. Infinity War, I understand they ended up beating Avatar, but they had to do 2 releases on it. That, to me, is bullshit. That's not beating Avatar. Avatar, in my eyes, is still the top of the top. Because they had to do 2 releases to beat them, and they barely beat them. So, back to what I was saying. Kevin's an idiot, and Kevin needs to basically take a step back, self-reflect, and understand that he's making bank regardless, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's not affecting the bottom dollar of what he's making. It's not affecting the actor's pay. It's getting subscribers to Disney Plus, making them even more money.
So is that how you feel about Game Pass?
Yes, absolutely. So think about like this, man. Game Pass, the reason I love Game Pass and why I'm such an advocate for it, I have the Ultimate Edition so I can play on my console. So my Xbox, oh my God. What's the new console called? I just had a blink.
Xbox 720.
Yeah, Xbox 720. So I can play on that. While I can also play on my PC because, I had the Ultimate Edition. Ultimate Game Pass. And like, the thing, man, I downloaded a game today. Let's just say I download, I don't know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, okay? They have in-game transactions. So if I'm a developer, okay, and Microsoft says, hey, Joe, we want to pay you a lump sum of money. You have in-game transactions, so you're still going to make money. It's a win-win. You're promoting your game to Microsoft, with Microsoft's help, on a platform that is super strong, PC and console, soon to be on your television just by an application. already on your phone, so you're going to get literally triple the amount of views and triple the amount of in-game purchases. Bada bing, bada boom. A game that sold $50 million is now a $500 million game. Bam. Phenomenal concept, and that is why it is extremely important. How do you think Netflix gets these high-end actors to come on their shows? How do you think Amazon got Chris Pratt? He's not cheap. They know they're going to have to pay top dollar for an actor,
Well,
right?
Jeff Bezos just spent like $28 million going to the space for 11 seconds.
For
He can
11
afford
minutes.
11 minutes. He can afford whoever he wants to come on.
But that doesn't matter, though. The point, you know what I mean? Like, the point is that literally they're going to pay that top dollar to have that person on their show no matter what. Even though that's coming to Netflix for free or Amazon Prime for free or Hulu or Disney Plus, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if I want that actor in that show, I know that there's a good chance they're gonna increase my subscriber count. So if I'm charging $8 a month for Disney Plus, and then all of a sudden not Chris Pratt, Black Widow's on there, and now guess what? This coming month we ended up adding 2.5 million subs. That's $20 million, and then let's just say you do that for just 1 year straight. They stay on your plan. That's $240 billion. So I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up. So like, you got to think about it. Like at the end of the day, it's a really 240 million. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's going to increase the amount of money that a company's going to make, and it's going to do more for them over time. Which is like Game Pass, 18 million subscribers. Okay, on Game Pass, and actually it's more than that now. But that's like 6 months ago was their number. $15 a month. Do the math. That's literally like $1 billion a month. I know that's not all their profit because they have servers they have to pay for, these studios, blah, blah. But still, that's still hundreds of millions of dollars of profit, man. Like, you got to think about that. Long term, it's a better move.
Now, a lot of people will get Disney Plus, just watch Mandalorian. Do you think a lot of people will do that in and out with Game Pass?
Oh,
hop in for a couple months, hop out.
Absolutely. I know someone.
But I mean, that's why you pay for the main actors, right?
Yep.
That's why you buy the whales in to get more whales to come to your system, to come to your product.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. There's somebody that actually Daganos too. He'll literally subscribe when Mandalorian season drops, and the whole thing. He doesn't wait for it. He waits for all 8 or 10 episodes to be out. Then he'll go and binge watch them, and then he'll cancel it the next month. But the point being, though, that's still $8. And then they know you'll be back. And over time, that adds up. People need to realize that if there are 15 million people that do that around the world, every single time Mandalorian drops a season, 15 million times 8 is what? There you go.
A lot.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of cheddar.
A lot of cheddar.
It pays for Mandalorian. That's what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They probably get their Star Wars money off just that one, like what they paid for it.
Yeah.
They've probably earned that in Mandalorian now.
Yeah. They have. They had to have. I mean, you gotta think, some of these movies, the production, man, like, is insane. Like the Tomorrow War, I keep going back to that movie, or even Black Widow. The amount of detail and the amount of effects in those movies is absolutely insane. And we know that costs a substantial amount of money. A substantial amount of money. But again, money's not a limit if they're increasing that subscriber count, because they know it's going to be... And it's really a bank. It's just infinite money coming in. And they're able to spin. So...
It's the Fortnite thing, man. Like, you reach out to Fortnite now, like, and you put your name on that product and it's going to sell.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's a quick way to get a pickup for whatever company wants a little recognition real quick. Is they hop on Fortnite in and out, even if it's like a 1 week of you could get this outfit.
It's advertising. That's all it is.
Yep.
I mean, like, if we had a game and let's say we weren't doing so hot and we wanted to advertise, we talk to Fortnite, we get a little bit of the cut when it comes down to each skin sale, and then on top of it off, we get advertisement. People come buy our game, try it out, make more money. Game Pass, same thing. So I think it is a really, really good concept. Really good concept. And I'm a huge advocate for it. And I say this. If you have an Xbox or you're a PC gamer and you don't have Game Pass, you're missing out on life. because the assortment that you have, the different games you get to play, is endless hours of fun. Everyone can afford $15 a month. Okay, you should be able to afford $15 a month.
There we go.
There you go.
I know, Doggo, you might struggle with that, but but yeah, man, got real passionate there.
You felt it, man. That's what this is about, though.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Yo, Doggo,
Yes.
what do you think about all this, man? I mean, you haven't said a word.
No, I'm just sitting back, soaking it all in. Hey, you had me at Scarlett Johansson, okay? See, I think you hit the nail on the actual head. So I mean, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth, Joe.
I do that a lot, don't I?
Yeah. Hey.
Every time you see me, you're like, you just know what to say. You're just so flabbergasted by my beauty.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one company that I defend to the end of time, and that's Nintendo. And I love my Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has some short duds of campaigns. Terrible online multiplayer. They got Pokemon Unite now, which is great. But
Phenomenal.
probably the
It's phenomenal.
worst. Their online is probably worse than like 360 PS3 era. Which is like 3 generations ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, I'll spend $6 and buy their games all the time.
Yeah, well, but Nintendo, again, going back to nostalgia, man, Nintendo's that one special thing. Like, the what's it, the NES, like the small versions that came out, I bought all those. Like, I literally, the hype around them, they were charging like $80 for them. Like, the Super Nintendo's...
I have the regulars in front of me.
So, I mean, I have those as well. I do. I as well. But I will tell you this, though. I still bought those just because they had an HDMI cord. So
that's fair.
So, literally, this is when I was working at PNC with you guys. I, one day, left work. Well, actually, I don't think you were there, Dom. But I left work just to go wait in line at GameStop down the street to get one of these. My buddy Ryan was the store manager there, and he actually held one for me. And, but I had to go at the time because, in case if they pull cameras or some whatever. But they obviously sold it to me, and he's like, he held it for me, and I was so excited, man, because it was hard to get them, and I ended up getting the 2 that they came out, the Super and then the regular, and I bought them and I barely played them. But the point is, I had them, and I'm like, yes, and I still got the boxes in pristine condition in my closets. And I just love it. Like, to me, the nostalgia does warrant it, and that's the same thing here, man. Like, Mario Odyssey was a phenomenal game, a very short game, but a phenomenal game, right? But I dropped that $60, but you gotta also speak on Nintendo's games never go cheap, man. No. Mario, Zelda, man, they're still $60 today, and I still don't understand why. Like, you can sit here and argue. Well, because, it's Nintendo. Well, many people are not going to the store buying that game anymore. So why charge 60? If you want to sell more of them, charge 30, charge 40. Decrease in value. I'm not going to go to GameStop or Amazon and buy a used game for 50. I'm going to buy the new one for 60, right? But to counter that, everyone's played that game already for the most part.
If you're going to buy Mario, just buy it right off rip or wait for Mario Day. That's the only time there'll be any discount on it.
Yeah, $20. I don't want to pay $40 for the game that came out 3 years ago.
You want the discount? Wait till Donkey Kong's birthday.
I'm not frugal. Okay, I will pay the $60 if I want to pay for it. Okay.
I will wait for Mario Day. Okay.
You don't want to have a Switch. Get out of here.
Yeah.
See, I actually have a actual Nintendo 64. So
my first love.
Yeah, so I mean that is a classic, man. Nintendo is just like the thing that kind of got it started for me, like just being able to play, is kind of like what Don said, first love,
Man,
So
the fights that happen in Smash Bros. And the ripped up hands from Mario Party.
bro,
Classics.
absolutely. And then everyone know Mario Kart, when that blue shell hits you, friendships were ruined. Murders happened. There's a few dead bodies in some people's backyards that we just don't know about still. It was such a common thing where you literally hated that person. I remember playing growing up all the time with buddies, and when I got hit with that blue shell, if I was in first place, I would literally get so mad and not talk to somebody for a couple weeks, because I was like, why would you do that to me? Out of all people, like, you should have held that for yourself, man. Like, you were in 9th place. Why hit the person in first? Are you jealous? Like, man, I still
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, I still have some resentment towards some of those people. But yeah, I mean, classics, sure. But how much did those games cost back then? I don't remember. I remember 360 and PlayStation 3 games were $50. But I don't remember how much games for Nintendo 64 cost brand new when the system just launched.
I want to say it was like 45 or 50.
Really? 45.
And the only reason I think it was like 50 is because I remember when I got a PlayStation 2 and I wanted Madden that had Mike Vick on it.
Yeah.
My mom told me I had to raise $60 and like do a bunch of stuff around the house, and I was like, "No, that's dumb. I'll just get it another way." but I want to say it was like 45 or 50 because I very distinctly remember the PlayStation 2 and Mike Vick on Madden as
right.
like the first game I wanted, which sounds weird, but that is where my head's at right there.
You know what's insane though right now? So I looked this up because I'm really curious. It was $49.99.
Hey.
But it comes out to be $70 because of inflation. So we were paying $70 a game back in the day. So now if you think about it, does that mean PS5 is... They could just say, hey guys, you were doing that back in the day for the PlayStation games. Why is it a problem now?
Yeah, well, you know what? PlayStation Game Pass, that's the problem now.
It really is. It is a game changer, man. Like, I'm in love, and I know that. Like, it is literally, again, as we said, and I'm repeating myself like 15 times, the best value you can get. Especially with all the Bethesda games on there now. Like, oh my god. So good. So good. You need to buy it if you don't have it.
Buy my shirts.
Hey guys, we are not sponsored. But again, if you would like to sponsor us, Xbox, feel free, and we will talk about Game Pass every episode to the 28 people that subscribe. And eventually you may get one or two of them to subscribe to you. And that's $30 a month. Let's multiply that for a couple years. Come on, hit us up.
Mass Effect's still same offer out there if you ever need anyone. I'm here for you.
Yeah, if you just need a couple community managers. So we can talk about the game. I mean, Dom probably is a little bit more experienced in that area than I am, especially the romance sections, because we know back in the day he wasn't getting any. But
hey, I would save the game, then sleep with each one, and then go. That way I slept with all of them.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I might have had some tissue and lotion, next to me when I played, but it is what it is.
Wow, some secrets are coming out.
Poor Mass Effect. It never gets the love it deserves.
Yeah. Dude, Mass Effect was the first sci-fi shooter that came out and pulled it off like that, right? It really set the genre to what it is, and the butterfly effect truly worked in the first two games. The third game, that's all I'm going to say.
I mean, it eventually all had to end. You had to have an ending to the story.
No. I disagree. Look at Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious keeps coming out.
Yeah. You know how bad Fast and the Furious is? They were still in TVs with VCRs in them in the first one, and now The Rock is like, all right, I'm out.
They literally have flying Lamborghinis now.
The Rock who wants to do everything is like, nah, I'm good now. This is too much.
So, I have watched pretty much every single movie, and honestly, when the first one came out, them selling, DVD players and selling car parts and what this and that, we had Paul Walker and Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel. those movies were good, man, because it was about cars, it was about just racing. But honestly, I just went and watched the newest one, and I gotta say, man, I left that movie theater a little disappointed.
Hold on, you're saying that Tokyo Drift was good?
So you're gonna hate me,
I
Dom.
liked it.
I liked it as well.
I liked it, man. I mean, I liked it. I didn't find, I kind of like the actor. What's his name? Lucas Black. I think he's a guy who plays Sean in the movie. I've always kind of been a pretty huge fan of his ever since he played Friday Night Lights. So whenever I saw him in that movie, I was like, man, like I have to watch it. And I did like the storyline. It was still about car racing. It was like the punchline was still there. It was, but nowadays, man, it's more about like them against the world. Fighting off these like multi-billionaires. Going into space. Like it is. I think they're trying too much.
You never turn your back on family.
Especially in West Virginia. You never
Or
do.
Alabama.
No, West Virginia is better. Because let's be real. Alabama, I think of Harold Kumar, Guantanamo Bay. When I think of Harold Kumar. And, your Cyclops son in the basement. But, let's be real. You're more likely to run into that in West Virginia. Alabama's up there, but West Virginia's really there. I mean, we know a few people that worked at PNC from West Virginia, and they were a little, if you know what I mean. Tell me one person that you met from West Virginia that was normal. Again.
We started talking about $60 video games into this.
So I gotta tell you something. I pulled this. There's a meme I'm looking at right now about Fast and the Furious, which is hilarious. So Fast and the Furious 6 was called The Last Ride. Fast and the Furious 7, One More Ride. Fast and the Furious 8, The Final Ride. Fast and the Furious 9, How do we stop this ride? Furious 10, Please send help.
I like someone that said Fast and Furious 10 was called Fasten.
Oh, like fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah.
See, that's called dark humor. Okay, did you not get it, Doggo?
Oh God.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna get this video taken down now, thanks to your just little comment, your little shenanigans.
It's all right though. When will I see you again?
So,
it's been a long
bro, Fast and the Furious 50. It's never a last ride. Van Diesel with a gray beard.
This time it's personal.
I really think they're gonna go until we see Dominic Toretto, his son, fully grown up, and he takes over, and then that will be the new person in the franchise.
Pick me up. You know what, man? Jason made it to space. Why can't Fast and Furious? Racing rocket ships.
They're supposed to have spaceships eventually.
Oh my God.
Flying cars and whatnot.
But to be honest with you, though, here's my thing, man. Just because we're talking about it, I really think the producers know how to keep the movies fresh. I've liked every single one of the movies that came out. Yes, I have others I like more than them, right? But I think they keep it fresh. I really think the stunts, I think they're really cool. Some of them are realistic. Some of them are just like, there's no way. But I think they make them to the point where they're somewhat believable in a lot of them. Okay. I really do, man. I think I really like Fast and Furious. I've always been a fanboy. And I'm excited to watch the newest one when it drops. Did it drop already? No, it hasn't dropped. Has?
Yes. I think it dropped like in July or June.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I won't go to the theater and watch it. It's not worth that to me. I'd rather buy it and own it. But I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it out on 4K, and then I'm gonna watch it, and I'll probably watch it 5 or 6 times. Now I'm gonna lie to you. I'm looking forward to it. And Doggo, nobody likes your opinions.
Thank you.
Hater. You did say you didn't like it that much, right?
Yes, I said it. I think it kind of left a little too much, man. I did leave the theater a little disappointed. Like I don't know. I was expecting more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna go in there thinking I'm gonna like it, so I like it. And just because you say you didn't like it, I'm gonna say I liked it no matter what. Because I'm that guy. So,
I didn't really care for any of the Fast and Furiouses.
well, you know what?
Oh.
I'm not even gonna say anything. I have no comment because all I'm gonna say is it will really get us flagged because I will say some of the most messed up stuff.
I would just watch them for Michelle Rodriguez.
Yes.
You know, ever since they added Charlize Theron, oh my goodness.
I'm telling you. Hey, that's why I don't go to the movie theaters and watch. I don't want to be like Pee Wee Herman.
Oh
We're done.
my
We're
goodness.
done. All right, we'll pick it up next week. We'll do another one. Oh my god.
Doggo, go ahead and sign us off, my friend.
Alrighty. Well, Nitwit family, thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting us be a part of your day. Please let us know how we did. If we did good, bad. Let us know. Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, Dom and Joe, thank you for having me. Nitwit family, thank you for having me and letting me be part of this podcast.
Yeah, and do me a favor. Why don't you do us all a favor? Leave a comment below telling us that Fast and Furious is great, including this past movie, so you can just prove Doggo wrong. But that's all we got. Dom?
You know, give us a like, subscribe. Thanks as always. You know, stay out of trouble or find trouble and let us know what happens.
Yeah, and peace, love, and chicken grease.
There you go.